The brand new Destiny 2 Lightfall Strand trailer. It just dropped today. Hot off the presses. Here we go. Let's check it out.
Strand flows through you as it flows through everything.
Osiris is going to teach us how to use Strand.
Now is the time to lean into using Strand.
Wait, is the Strand basically the Force?
Back away from it.
It flows through us like it flows through everything. Hang on, we got to back up. We got to back up. It came in a little hot.
Strand flows through you as it flows through everything.
Oh!
Now is the time to lean into using.
Why are they highlighting a Titan? All right, this could easily have been a hunter. Whoever made this.
Strand.
Oh, it's so graceful. Look at him.
Not back away from it.
Warlock, Broodweaver, Threadling Master. Cabal are no match for the Strand. Especially the Titan, Berserker, the untamable Force. Definitely not Wolverine for legal reasons. Here goes the Hunter. Oh yeah! Threadrunner, Whiplash. Oh, so graceful! When light falls. Unleash Strand!
Embrace where the current takes you.
Destiny 2 Lightfall, pre-order now, out February 28, 2023. Instant unlock pre-order bonus, Quicksilver Storm.
Strand flows through you.
It looks so good, chat. All right, let's see if we can find anything. So this is the Titan's called the Berserker.
Strand flows through you as it flows through everything. Now is the time to lean into using Strand. Not back
Oh, that
away
Hunter
from it.
looks so cool, man. What is that ability? What is it throwing? Is that a Hunter melee? It jumps back too far when I hit that. That's the Hunter. So it's got like, or is that the Warlock? Might actually be a Warlock the way his hands are contorted, right? Is a Warlock gonna get like a triple melee? Because the Hunters have the double shuriken. So Warlock can go pow, pow, pow. Yeah, it's the Warlock for sure. The Threadling Master, the Broodweaver. That's actually a cool name. Dang it. I don't want to like any class other than Hunter, but that's a cool name, Broodweaver. Oh, little Seekers. They're alive. You hear them making noise? Little Strand minions. After them, my sweets. Titan looks fun too. Berserker, the untamable Force. So I think the cool thing is going to be with Titans, it looks like if you go back, it's going to be all about popping things up and slamming them down, I'm guessing. Right? Because look when he pops this rift, or when he pops this barricade. Everything gets suspended, and then he pops the super, looks like. So it's going to be all about just like unstabilizing the battlefield. Oh, look at that Hunter fly in. That was sweet. Ooh-wee. Look at that. Look how graceful. All right. That's what was missing from the other classes just now. You know, the Warlock looked cool, but didn't have no style. The Titan is just like, I'm the Juggernaut. Look at this Hunter. Just graceful. Just grace personified. Zip up in the air. The Threadrunner. Whiplash incarnate. That is so cool. Where is it? Where's that shot? I mean, look at that. Man, Bungie knows how to get people hyped, huh? So it looks like they're going to have like multiple dodges, which is probably why all of Hunter dodge got nerfed, right? Because they're showing this for a specific reason. This Hunter, in a room full of Cabal, they're all shooting at this Hunter. Weapons hot, right? They're just letting it fly, and we're just gracefully zipping and dodging. Oh! That's got to be the Hunter melee. That little whip. When light falls. I love that Osiris seems to be like the focus of this. Unleash Strand. Oh, that's...
Embrace where the current takes you.
We're seeing a lot of weapons that I believe are Strand weapons. So we just saw a heavy, and I think at the beginning, that could have been Quicksilver at the beginning, but we're seeing, I think we're going to get a good mix of Strand weapons. Let's see, because doesn't something happen with this grenade launcher, looks like? Yeah, this is a Strand heavy right here. Or is it? Actually, no, I think he suspended him with some ability. Okay, so maybe that wasn't a Strand heavy. At first, I thought that was a Strand weapon doing that.
Embrace where the current takes you.
Yeah, he throws that little thing out. Oh, wait. You see that? He threw the ball. And the Hunter latched onto it. Oh! Because we saw in an earlier trailer that one of these things is going to drop these little Strand balls, and you can either slam them or throw them, but you can throw them and zip onto them? That's so hot. That's the melee right there. So what we saw before wasn't the melee. Maybe that was him popping his super. A little tracking melee. I really hope it's better than the stasis shuriken. It hits everything in the room. Oh man, that's hot. That is hot. I love a couple things I love. I love that Osiris seems to be the focus, or he seems to be like our main guy, kind of like Ikora kind of was in Witch Queen, or Cade was in Taken King. You know, they pick a character and he's the dude, right? So it looks like that's going to be Osiris for us. He's teaching us Strand. He's encouraging us to use Strand. Apparently we're going to need Strand for whatever fight we're up against. And Strand looks really powerful. I just hope it doesn't come out with a whimper, man. I really hope it doesn't come. I hope it comes out too strong. I hope it comes out real strong, borderline too strong. I want to feel like just, you know, I want to feel powerful. I'm also excited to see and to make builds around the Strands, balls, whatever we're calling them, whatever's replacing Warmind cells. Because this is the reason they got rid of Warmind cells. These little balls. This melee looks good. Everybody's kit looks amazing. Looks like Warlocks get like a triple projectile melee. Hunters get a kunai. Underwhelmed for endgame, but great general gameplay. I mean, how can you make any assessment about the endgame off of that? This is just a hype trailer for the abilities. All right, so dropping alongside the trailer, looks like we have a article on Bungie.net, Inside Strand, written for us by the Destiny 2 dev team. It says, Guardians, prepare to unlock the mysteries of Strand. In Destiny 2 Lightfall, players will gain access to a brand new elemental power to add to the current lineup of Void, Arc, Solar, and Stasis. Like its predecessors, Strand will offer players exciting new abilities and powers to dominate the battlefield, along with new wrinkles that promise to change the way Guardians think about traversal and combat. With Strand, Guardians will be wielding the fabric of the universe in ways that will be a formidable threat to anyone who stands in their way. The Strand trailer for Lightfall shows all 3 Guardian classes using Strand to deadly effect and provides an action-packed overview of what to expect. We just watched the trailer. Here, we're taking a deeper look into what players can expect from Strand, including a class-by-class breakdown of how each Guardian class will be plucking at the strings of the universe to play sweet, destructive music. Nice. This is perfect. Oh, is this our... Oh, I really love this picture. This is such a great shot. This is such a great shot of the Tormentor. From the neon-drenched streets of Neptune's secret city of Neomuna to Guardians soaring through the sky by grappling to an enemy spaceship, it's been clear from the start that Lightfall is different. Yes, things are coming to a head in a penultimate chapter of the Light and Darkness saga, but Lightfall's influences and inspirations prove that there has been plenty of room for the team to let loose, to revel in their creativity and craft, and to have some fun. One of the touchstones the team drew from was the bombast and flair of 1980s action cinema. Yes! Just give me all the 80s. Think of an era of film where no explosion was too big and no action set piece was too over the top. That aesthetic informed much of Lightfall's tone, and it's certainly had a big influence on Strand itself. Even before it was formally known as Strand, the team had many concepts for Damage Type 5, as it was originally called in development, before aligning on the feature set and lore that brought it to life. We had a couple of front-runner concepts for a while, says Destiny designer Kevin Yanis. Part of my desire was to have something more astral in the game. Strand also aligned really well to the fantasy of the product, the 80s action hero. As Yanis puts it, there wasn't a single aha moment where all the threads of Strand fell neatly into place. Instead, it was a result of a continuous dialogue with the team about what would make for exciting gameplay, what would make sense from a narrative standpoint, and how they could make those ideas manifest in the game. Through these discussions, Damage Type 5 slowly morphed into something a bit more specific, then called Dark Telekinesis, which evolved further, eventually manifesting into what you see today. We had lots of conversations around where the Strand concept known as weaves came from and trying to reinforce the physical language for how it manifests and how it looks, to make it feel like it was from the same darkness family as Stasis, Giannis said. The more the team talked, the more the concepts and evocative language that describes Strand with terms and descriptors like weaves, tangles, and universal strings of consciousness came to be. It's everyone building on everyone else's ideas, said designer Eric Smith. How we choose to implement these things affects how we talk about it and vice versa, like weaving objects instead of spawning objects or summoning objects. It becomes part of the aesthetic. Deadly definitions. Okay, we got some verbs and definitions. To understand Strand, let's first start with some vocabulary. Creating an object using Strand is weaving. Defeating an enemy affected by Strand will unravel them, disconnecting their life force from the weave and creating a tangle, left behind after a Strand debuffed enemy is defeated. A tangle is a swirling bundle of Strand fibers. These bundles of Strand explode when shot, causing area damage to nearby enemies. Guardians can also pick up tangles and throw them to deadly effect. On the debuff side, there are 3 new terms to know: suspend, unravel, and sever. Suspend. A suspended PvE enemy is lifted off the ground for a brief duration and is essentially disabled. In PvP, suspended players are lifted off the ground but can still move, albeit slowly, and fire their weapon to fight back. Unravel. Attacking an unraveled enemy will cause threads to burst out of the target and attack other nearby targets once hit. Once hit, the target will also become unraveled. Sever. A severed enemy is less capable of affecting the material world, reducing their damage output as a result. The major buff coming with Strand is Woven Mail. With this ability, the Guardian is sheathed in a protective mesh of Strand matter, reducing incoming damage. Note that in PvP, Woven Mail will only reduce damage taken on the body. Head damage and melee damage will continue as normal. One of the most exciting new abilities in Guardian's Strand toolkit is the Grapple. With this ability, players can press the grenade button and their Guardian will weave a hook from Strand matter, which they can grab onto an anchor point. The grappling hook will then begin contracting, pulling the Guardian along. Strand's grapple can create its own grapple points out of thin air, so you can always propel yourself through the sky even if there's not a solid surface to latch onto. Guardians will also be able to execute melee strikes during or at the end of a grapple, known as a grapple melee, which will deal bonus damage, unravel an enemy, and push them backwards. When we were developing the concept around ropes and string, we felt like it was perfect opportunity to add grapple into the game, said Smith. You never want to shoehorn something in for the sake of interaction that isn't natural. It has to be the right time, the right situation. The stars align for something like that there. Giannis said Strand really came to life for him when the team started seeing the power of the grapple when combined with other elements of Strand. When we got things like tangles online, we started realizing that the gameplay here is incredibly novel, interesting, and new when you have to do all these quick contact switches between grappling and slamming and throwing a tangle. All these things can happen in quick succession, and that rewards the player for having high APM, actions per minute, which is not really a thing we have had in the game at all before. Smith picks up that thought and runs with it. I defeat an enemy with my melee ability, and they unwind into a tangle. I grapple onto the tangle, which refunds my grapple and snatch the tangle out of midair. I then hurl the tangle at a group of enemies in the distance, grappling onto the tangle again while it flies and pulls me through the air behind it. As the tangle nears a group of enemies, I slam downward out of my grapple to suspend a lone enemy who split off from the group while the tangle slams into the rest of the group and explodes. There's a lot of these really cool dynamic interactions built into Strand, and that makes it feel unique. From the start, these new mobility options will change the way you play, but it doesn't end there. Each Guardian class will interact with and wield Strand in a unique way, with new abilities and powerful perks to explore, and customize. Here's how it breaks down. The Warlock Brood Weaver. The Warlock is our Strand minion master, said Smith. Hey, I used the right word. It's actually Strand minions. When explaining how Destiny 2's masters of all these things, Space Magical, will utilize Strand, to understand how Warlocks will bend Strand to their will, you have to first understand Threadlings. Threadlings are explosive minions woven from Strand matter, he said. The Warlock Broodweaver, being the cerebral type, is more in tune with Threadlings than any other class. All Threadlings will run forward, jump on enemies, and explode. But only the Warlock's Threadlings will return to the Warlock and travel with them if they can't find a target. Let's say I have 3 Threadlings, and I only need 2 of them to defeat an enemy. If I'm a Warlock, that last one is going to run back, hop onto me, and condense down into a form that is orbiting me, which is known as perching. Then, the next time I attack an enemy, it will pop off and attack that same enemy, which really gives it the sense of having these minions that are doing my bidding. They love me, and they want to come back and hang out with me. This is awesome. Holy smokes. Warlocks are pet masters. But it's not just in summoning and wielding Threadlings that Warlocks excel. With their Strand melee attack, Warlocks cast Arcane Needle, a deadly projectile which tracks targets, causing high damage and unraveling them upon impact. Warlocks will be able to quickly chain 3 arcane needle attacks in a row. There we go. We saw that in the trailer. Warlocks have 2 strand aspects to utilize, and it's here where threadlings once again interplay. Weaver's Call. On Riftcast, the Warlock weaves 3 threadling eggs, which hatch into threadlings when they hit a surface. Any perched threadlings are converted to additional eggs. Mindspun Invocation. This aspect improves several of the Warlock's abilities. Grapple. When you execute a grapple melee, the Warlock weaves 3 threadling eggs from the target. Threadling Grenade. You can consume your threadling grenade to generate a full complement of perched threadlings. Shackle Grenade. You can consume your shackle grenade to gain a buff, creating a suspending detonation on every kill. Wow. So you have Weaver's Call. On Riftcast, Warlock weaves 3 eggs, which hatch into threadlings when they hit any surface. Any perched threadlings are converted to additional eggs. Okay. So you have threadlings, and then you have the eggs, and the threadlings come from the eggs. So you can spawn eggs without spawning threadlings, but once certain conditions are met, they turn into threadlings. The Warlock's telekinetic abilities culminate with their super Needle Storm, a deadly combination of burst damage and area denial. On cast, the Warlock conjures strand matter into a fusillade. What the heck? Fusillade of hardened spikes, launching them forward with a wave of their hand. The missiles will stick into enemies and the environment alike before detonating and reweaving themselves into an army of threadlings that will hunt down any survivors. Man, Warlocks seem powerful, huh? Hunter Threadrunner. There we go. All right. While every Strand Guardian class will have access to the grapple and the array of mobility options it brings, the Hunter takes movement and speed to an entirely new level. From attacking multiple enemies at once while in midair to using a new rope dart weapon that benefits from maximum agility. It's no wonder that playing the Threadrunner has been compared to the thrill of watching a superhero come to life. The Threadrunner's melee attack, Threaded Spike, has the Hunter hurling out a rope dart that bounces between enemies, damaging and severing them before returning to the Hunter. Upon its return, it grants melee energy for each enemy hit. Hunters can catch the rope dart by pressing the melee input button at the right time. Perfecting that timing will earn the player an additional amount of melee energy. 2 strand aspects will be available for Hunters. Ensnaring Slam. While in the air, press the air move input to slam downwards, suspending all nearby enemies. We saw that in the trailer. Widow's Silk. This aspect grants an additional grenade charge. The Hunter's grapple ability creates a persistent grapple tangle when it latches, which fully refunds grenade energy when grappled too. Hunters can use this ability to set up chains of grapple points that their entire team can use, greatly enhancing their ability to quickly move around in combat and or traverse the environment. Wow, so Hunters can set up grapple points for teammates. That's awesome. The lethal combination of grapple and rope dart converge with the Threadrunner's super Silk Strike. When activated, the Hunters uses their grapple, to freely move through the world in third-person view, while also throwing their rope dart to strike down enemies. Hunters will be able to use grapple more often during the super, and the rope dart features both a light and heavy attack. The light attack is meant for single opponents and can be used in air and on the ground. When on the ground, the Hunter can chain attacks seamlessly. Hitting an enemy with the tip of the dart deals bonus damage, and defeating an enemy with it causes the enemy to explode. The heavy attack has the Hunter swing the rope dart around in a 360-degree arc, damaging all nearby enemies. As with the light attack, this can be used on the ground or in the air. Hunters are going to be fun. These all sound amazing. Let's check out the Titan, the Berserker. Another great shot of the Titan there. Titan Berserker. The hulking mass of a Guardian stands before a squad of enemies, ignoring their paltry taunts. Without warning, gigantic blades made of tightly woven strand matter surround her hands, and she leaps into the fray, powerful blades whirling in fury. The Titan's powerful woven gauntlets slice through scores of her foes, and the enemies of humanity tremble. From the start, the fantasy for the strand-wielding Titan Berserker was wild, untamed power. As this subclass name suggests, the Titan uses strand in ways that ensure maximum carnage. with in-your-face attacks that can sever enemies en masse before they are permanently deleted. The Titan Strand melee ability is Frenzied Blade. With a press of the melee button, the Titan dashes forward and slashes at enemies with their strand arm blades, severing victims and decreasing their damage output. With a default set of 3 charges, Titans can chain these slashes together for maximum offensive power. Wow! So Titans get 3 melee charges. Hey, yo, Titans, we heard you like to melee. Titans will also be able to utilize a pair of aspects into the fray. Destroying a tangle weaves woven mail onto the Titan and nearby allies. In addition to reducing damage taken, this aspect also increases the Titan's melee energy regeneration while wearing woven mail. Drenger's Lash. When the Titan casts their class ability, the Titan will blast forward a powerful ripple in reality, suspending enemies that are caught in the shockwave's path. The Titan Berserker Super, Blade Fury, sees the Titan dual-wielding fist blades and roaming the battlefield with ill intent. The Super's light attack is a supercharged version of the Frenzied Blade melee attack, and each light attack that connects increases the next attack's speed, which tops out after a maximum of 3 hits. In addition, connecting with light attacks also builds energy for the Super's heavy attack, which with each hit. With the heavy attack, the Titan hurls a pair of projectiles forward that seek out enemies, suspending and damaging them on impact. Elsewhere, Strand will see 3 new grenades, including Grapple, which is controlled with the grenade button. The Threadling grenade splits into 3 projectiles that weaves into threadlings upon impact. The Shackle grenade effectively acts as a bola, detonating in a suspending blast and sending out smaller secondary bolas to suspend nearby enemies. Finally, it wouldn't be a new elemental power in Destiny 2 without new fragments to explore and customize your Strand-wielding Guardian. Here's a look at a few of the new fragments. Thread of Ascent. Activating your grenade ability reloads your equipped weapon and grants increased weapon handling and airborne effectiveness for a short time. Thread of Fury. Damaging targets with a tangle grants melee energy. Thread of Finality. Finishers generate threadlings. Thread of Warding. Picking up an orb of power grants woven mail. From enemy-seeking threadling minions to bombastic supers to game-changing new mobility options, Strand is bringing a host of unique abilities to every Guardian's arsenal. Prepare to conjure and weave yourself in Destiny 2 Lightfall when it launches on February 28th. Great article. Love the breakdown. So there you go, YouTube. That's the complete breakdown of the trailer and the article by Bungie. Sound off in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the trailer and the article. What class are you most excited to use? And what ability looks like it's going to be the biggest problem in the Crucible? Let me know in the comments below. Also, hit that like button, subscribe. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace out. I love you. Bye-bye.